Alright, hey guys, welcome to the channel. My name is Williams and this is C# walkthroughs. It's been a while. It's been a while since I have recorded a video or held a live stream, but I'm back. I'm back with more content. And what I would like to do in this particular video is to sort of do like a real-time coding session of my Parallax engine. I'm gonna go to one of my tabs here, and I have here the Parallax engine on my Webstore, C# snippet store, as you can see. And the funny thing is, the community edition of Parallax Engine has been rolled out. Subsequent versions are on view to be released. I started off with version 0.0.1, then I released 0.2.0, as you can see, and eventually I released the community edition, which is essentially the same as 0.2.0. Now, the thing is that I had this sort of TBA SKU, the SKU, TBA being to be announced SKU for Parallax Engine UWP RPG. Excuse me. And the idea is, as it says here, for people to build their own turn-based action or panel-based RPG with Parallax Engine. So I've been sitting on this SKU for a while. Do excuse me. And I think now is a decent time for me to sort of work on Parallax Engine RPG. So without much further ado, I'm gonna start this series of building Parallax Engine UWP RPG edition. So let's start with my agenda. I'm gonna have some more coffee. I hope the levels are alright. I'm using my laptop and yeah, it should be alright. I can see the levels are working so far. Let me turn off OBS. Not turn off OBS, but I'm going to just adjust my second desktop. Okay. So for any of you that maybe you're new to the channel, you may not even be aware of what Parallax Engine is. First, I will demonstrate it. Now, thing is, I was messing around with the scene, so it's not going to look flashy. In fact, it's going to look the scene on the screen is going to look a little bit messy because I moved some stuff around. As you can see, let's see if I can play the video. I have some different versions of Parallax Engine. Like, this is an earlier build of Parallax Engine, as you can see, running pretty decently, I would say. You know, you have this 2D scene with matrix 4x4 effect to create this kind of pseudo 2D slash HT2D sort of effect. And the later version of Parallax Engine was like this. So I was demonstrating this video hitbox detection. As you can see, my character here, she has a hitbox around her, or hurtbox, however you want to assume that is. It's more like a hitbox. So anything that the blue hitbox, if the blue hitbox is within range of the red hitbox, then you could program certain functionality, as you can see. So I'm just waiting for Visual Studio to load up. I'll leave that there for now. Okay, and my build is just starting. Okay, so I'm going to put this on full screen. Got Parallax Engine UWP. That's the loading screen. So I wait for my. So yeah, I'm actually, I was about to say, well, I suppose I should digress that this is a UWP project, a Universal Windows Platform project, and I'm using C# as you saw earlier on the screen to code the code base. I'm using Win2D libraries to power the graphics. Now, things are going to look a little bit, should I say, bare bones. This is just like the initial scene that I was using to just kind of demonstrate everything working. As you can see here, it definitely looks a little bit different to one of the earlier videos, as I showed you earlier. Like, this is one version of Parallax Engine. I had this scene fleshed out, but I was kind of playing around with stuff, so obviously it looks a bit different, but the main functionality still exists. So I'm gonna try and full screen it. Hopefully it will just look a bit better. And I'm using like WASD for the controls, so I got like forward and backwards. Don't mind that right now. It's just a editor layer toggle. Let's see if I can get rid of it actually. There was a bug which is probably persisting, which is that when I press, I think S, the editor layer toggles when it should be M, But then when I get rid of it, the bug seems to disappear. So anyway, let me just demonstrate what's going on quickly. So I have this parallax effect going, as you can see. I have a sort of world coordination system such that the idea is using this engine, I really want to give prowess to developers, because when you're fleshing out a 2D game, you have stuff such as, like, let's say, as an example, if I'm moving left and right, that's all well and good, and I'm tracking it with like world coordination. But then what about the NPC over there, the samurai? The samurai needs to be tracked as well, so that we can have some kind of accurate estimation as to where the samurai is in the scene. The samurai is in the scene with comparison against my, should I say, my knight girl character. She seems like a knight. And all while creating an effect of parallaxing, which is more of an estimation. But the world coordination needs to be accurate. So we have this sort of estimation with regards to the background parallax, because the background is not directly interacting with the scene foreground. But what needs to be fairly accurate, depending on the game you're designing, is the interaction between my NPC and my main character. So that's more so that the world coordination has to be accurate, and I'll try and demonstrate that. So I have some attacks programmed. So I have a light attack, medium, and heavy. When I do the light attack, there's a bit of a hitbox around the girl swordswoman, and there's a hit detection. So if I go here and do the light attack, as you can see, it only detects with the light attack right now. That's all I programmed. So you can see there's a red hurt box, I suppose, a hit detection monitor around the samurai. And this is where I'm talking about accuracy versus estimation, because here there's no hit detection, right? But here there's still no. But if I go closer, there is, you see? And that's why this hit detection has to be accurate, so that the framework is somewhat reliable, right? But the background may be an estimation. It may be off depending on what's going on, if that makes sense, with regards to the parallax. But again, the position of the background is not essentially necessary, henceforth why the background is more of an estimation. But we can make the background more accurate, with just slightly more careful logic, as you can see. Now, what I want to kind of do in this particular video, in this session, is go through the editor layer. So if I go and try and toggle it, as you can see, I got this editor layer, and I'm using XAML for this bit. Whoops, I got rid of it on accident. It's gonna go away? No, okay. I think I pressed M and then it disappeared. M is the button I use to toggle the editor layer. If I press M now, let's see, it goes away, but I have to press it twice for some reason. And it comes back a little bit. I don't know why it's a bit buggy like that, but we'll sort that out. I'll be able to sort that out later. So the idea here is I want to make these scripts. Let's even get my notepad out. So I want to make these scripts or prompts. We seem to be in an era of prompt development now, prompt programming. So prompts. So these prompts are to help. Let me see if I can just put that. So I want to implement this prompt feature to help developers build scenes based on an editor layer that supports prompt scripts, as it says. So let's say, for example, this has no functionality, by the way, this editor layer right now. But let's say I don't know, background, let's say BG, background scroll left, right? Background scroll left, and then I can say a prompt like this: BG1 underscore scroll underscore, let's say some kind of number value like 10. Excuse me. And then when I hit save, I want to save the script like on the left hand side. And I do have logic for this actually. It's in another program. I actually took this off my flashcard app. You might recognize this this UI. I borrowed this UI from my flashcard app if you've seen some of my other videos. But I'm using this UI here. And the idea is that I can then invoke this script based on the prompt. And this prompt is nothing more than like a semantic tag, which is like parsed. And then what happens, let me go back to the program, to the code base, is that there's a check. So there's a check in the program, or there will be a check in the program that parses my prompt and maybe says something like, if prompt is like background scroll 10, then I apply a scroll of 10 at runtime, right? So what I want to do is, I don't want to give a comprehensive overview of the code base right now, because I have videos literally going through how to build this kind of program from scratch. I have live streams and I have a few videos on the topic. So what I'm gonna do is sort of assuming that you have an idea of the Parallax Engine's code base, because I do have videos about it. What I want to do is go straight into things. I want to implement a very simple prompt feature, as I described earlier, because the idea is that, yes, it's well and good for, well, let's say up to version 0.2.0. Parallax Engine sort of relies on the C# code base, and developers, any developer that might pick up this engine, just basically building on top of what's here. But this is why I want the editor layer to come in clutch, because then it's a hybrid of prompt development and actual coding, right? And I want to kind of create that synergy to really sort of catalyze quicker turnaround rates for building 2D concepts, 2D games, and interactive experiences. And again, this all goes back to making this kind of RPG flavored engine, okay? So this will be kind of an introductory video. I probably won't go too deep. Maybe in a subsequent live show, I'll really comprehensively code out features. But for today, what I want to start us off is simple prompting to create simple features. So let me see where I am. I have here an animated update class. So this is all using Win2D. So what I'll do, I'm going to create more space. So I'm going to move this out the way. We don't need it right now. You might need to see what's going on. So I'm going to move this. There we go. I'm going to stretch out the screen. Hopefully, guys, you can see the code all right. I like this resolution, but maybe it's a little too small. Yeah, that's all right, as long as it's readable. So if you're familiar with Win2D, Win2D is highly leveraged in this engine. Win2D is a, let me see if I got it. I actually have a definition here. I'll just read it up. Yeah, so Parallax Engine UWP project is built on top of .NET C#, as you can see, and my engine leverages Win2D libraries to power smooth, efficient 2D graphics, powered by underlying direct 2D APIs provided by Microsoft DirectX. Yeah, so if you're looking to build a 2D game, there are a couple ways you can go about it with .NET. I mean, you can go DirectX route, which is great. It's probably the best way to go about games development on the Windows platform is using DirectX. You have low-level APIs to develop 2D and 3D games. But a kind of a next best option for a managed environment like C# is to just hop straight onto Win2D. Let's see, I think I have some documentation up. There's Win2D documentation on the internet provided by Microsoft, and you have a comprehensive breakdown of the API such that you know how you can learn how to use it, right? It's really useful. I have videos covering all this. So what do we want to do? We want to create these prompts that we write a script. I'm going to keep it very simple. I'm going to explain this while I load the XAML, because XAML takes a few seconds to load sometimes. So I have a XAML window that allows me to type in what will be prompts. And then once I hit save, I want to store these prompts, right? And then these prompts are nothing more, as I said, semantic tags, if you will, that invoke functions when evaluated by some sort of check. I actually initially did this project on Windows 11, one of my old laptops, so I can't actually see the XAML. As you can see, there's a little error, or rather a warning, but that's no problem. I literally code off the XAML. I don't really need to see what's going on, especially since I'm using Win2D. I don't need to see anything. So let's see. So all the scene is rendered in Win2D. All the XAML pertains towards is actually the editor layer. So there's a button to save my card. See if I can find it. I think it's near the bottom here. So I have a button here. Hopefully you can read that. It says save button. Actually, it's a save script. Sorry, save script and go back. But I want the save button, so it's another one. Let me see. I can find it. It's probably down here somewhere. I have exit button. Over here, proceed. No, it's not this. Save button, save script and go back. Maybe I'll use this for now actually. But I really want to use the other one. But I don't want to spend too much time here. Okay, we're going to use this one now. So line 83, I have a button. Oh, funny. How do I bring up the properties without looking at it? Okay, that's fine. I don't have to write it myself. Okay, which is okay. Hold on, guys. I'm just gonna look for some. I'm gonna see if I have an event already loaded, so I can just literally copy and paste the format. If not, I'll just try to figure it out. If not, we'll just use the core window or something. Core window is the API that allows us to let keyboard inputs interact with the screen. But XAML should be enough. Let's go. So when we click this button, what's the name? Before I start, I need to get the name of the actual button. Send. For some reason, I've called it. Save script. I found it. It's the save card button. Just on line 89. So I think it's like save card underscore click, as you can see there. And then I want to invoke a function via this event handler. So I'm gonna create it. See if it comes up. There it is. Oops, I messed up. There it is. So save card underscore click. I made my event handler. Now I need to make the pertaining function. So I'm gonna go to my main page.xaml. And as you can see, .NET has built it for me automatically. So anytime I click on the save card button, this function invokes. So it's going to be quite simple. I could use my input parser class actually, which is probably the best way to go. So I have a class here. It's not actually named, my class is not named input parser. I did have that for another project. It's my animated update class. And over here, I'm actually evaluating sorry guys, I'm evaluating key presses. So like if the game state, or if virtual key is D, then I walk right. If virtual key is A, then I walk left. And I'm really encapsulating these features, these functionalities of like moving left and right via these enumerated lists. So like game states, move state. It just makes it easier to program this on top of this engine rather than me relying on magic numbers. I actually highlighted in my notes that I was relying on magic numbers, and I really need to eliminate magic numbers. Anyway, so that toggle is the toggling itself of the UI is considered a game state, and I named the game state content pipeline editor visible. So what we probably want to do is have some enumerated prompts, some prompts in the form of enumerated lists that represent the functionalities we want. 1 second, guys. Why don't we try something like instead of hitbox, let's just say edge detection, right? Some kind of like, yeah, like a hitbox edge detection. See how when I was in range of the samurai and my swordswoman was attacking the samurai, so to speak, in the sense of, I was within range of the samurai, there was a red box and a blue box, right? So let's say we want to toggle the box to always be on, right? To kind of help us with debugging or something. Is this a local function? Let me see what's inside. Public void update. Okay, whatever. So what I'll do, in a similar vein of this function, you copy and paste that. I don't know why I did that. I didn't need to do that. I have a void function. I'll say toggle. Toggle. I want to say not hitbox, not necessarily a hitbox. Let's say edge box. Toggle edge box. And I'm going to have an if statement. So I'll probably have to have another game state. So I'm going to go to the definition of my game states. So current game state, I've got a enumerated list of content pipeline main game runtime. So I'm going to have like put a comma there. And then I'll add some more enums, 1 or 2 or so. So I'll be like toggle, maybe I'll write enable, more accurate. Enable edge monitor, let's say like that. And I'll say enable player 1 edge monitor. I'll make this enumerated. I mean, it's the second element. I'll leave it here for now. So I'm gonna go back. And then if the game state, so if my game state is set, if my game state is set to enable player 1 edge monitor, that means, excuse me, that means I set the game state assuming that I want to see the edge monitor, and once this evaluates for true, I can then have a call to my animated draw class where I can update the visual, right? So it's gonna be similar to how I'm doing things already. So I'm gonna drag my animated draw to the left because I want to put animated draw next to animated update. Somewhere here I have the edge detection, my edge detection algorithm. I am writing documentation for Parallax Engine because I do appreciate that, you know, you can't just hop on to this program and understand what's going on. They like off the bat straight away. So I do have documentation which I really do need to finish off. Like I need to really update my documentation. So I do apologize, guys. Hopefully I'll be able to update my documentation for Parallax Engine a bit more these days because it only makes sense. So as you can see, there's magic numbers everywhere here. I really want to eliminate this. I don't really like all this, so subsequently I'll be updating my framework such that magic numbers is mitigated. Alright, so why are we here? There should be some draw core to actually draw the edge, the box as we saw. Trying to find it. Is it here? This is for movement, I think, this whole function. So it's quite a large function. Draw. Okay, so the way I've done this is this is just like drawing different stages. Again, there's so many ways to optimize this, but for now, the training stage, as I called it, is a particular stage and it's drawn here, as you saw with the swordswoman and the samurai. But I'm looking for where I'm drawing the box. It should be here. Maybe it's actually in the stage as well. I'll zoom out quickly so I can see more of the screen. There should be a draw core. As you can see, I have draw rectangle. So if you're familiar with the Win2D API, you'll know with the Win2D library, we have this e.drawing session core, property, e.drawing session property. I have a draw rectangle core, and you can draw all sorts of different things. Like you can draw geometry, 2D geometry, simple 2D geometry. You can draw like graphics, right? It seems that here I'm drawing the edge box because I see RGB values. RGB set to 255, 245, 1010 with a transparency of 4. I think that's alpha transparency there. Oh no, alpha transparency is this one. So full color 255, or full transparency rather, as in opaque. Sorry if I got that wrong. This is R red at full, and then GB is set to 10. So this is the edge detection for I think I want to say the samurai. Double check, because the red box, one of the boxes was for the samurai, one of the boxes was for my swordswoman. I can't remember the colors. Let me see. So the red one is for the samurai, the blue one is for my swordswoman. So I'm gonna look for the other one. Let me see if I can find it. If not, so this is line 251. Don't forget. Moveset animations. If I can't find it, I'll just use the samurai one for now. I could do a quick Control F search. See if it comes up. I'll look for a course this from ARGB course. So there's one there. I'll look for another one. I know there's one here, but I don't think that's the one I'm looking for, is it? Or maybe it is. RGB. Oh, it is. It's right here. Oh, I didn't even see it. I saw this, but I didn't think it was that. Because I thought I was modifying the green, not the blue. So that's R20, G10, and B is 250. So it's this one. Transparency for flow. Okay. Get all of that. Now this is interesting because I seem to be, as you see, I player one, so now I'm affecting my main player. It's interesting actually, because it doesn't seem to be validated. Maybe it's another part of the code, but I still have the logic. I'm just literally drawing this on light attack, but there should be validation somewhere. Oh wait, there is no validation. Sorry guys. So yeah, this is completely fine. So what I'll do, I'm just considering the logic flow. If I have access between animated update and animated draw, like bidirectionally, so that I can make a direct reference to animated update. That's what I'm just considering. I think it's fine. I don't have any like intermediary classes right now in this build. Let's see, animated update. Do I have a reference to it? If I use a static context, I should be fine, but is that what I'm doing right now? Let me see. So I need to put a break so I don't lose where I am. Check my globals. I do have a reference to main page. Animation list. So maybe I have to reference how I was doing this, because it has been a minute since I've been to this project. I think I used the main page class to reference my other classes. Which here I have animate update, right? That's a function call. But here I have a public models animate update, so I need to reference this object, and it's important to reference the same object instance, because then I need to keep things consistent. If I'm relying on instantiation, in terms of my update and draw classes, I need to make sure I'm referencing the correct instantiations. Otherwise, I'll just get really wrong behaviors at runtime. That's why I don't want to make an arbitrary core to animate update in here, when really it should be in one place right now, which is here, right? So I'm going to go back to my animated draw. I'll go back to line, I think it's 251, 245 rather. I'll have an if condition because it's on toggle, right? Because I'll be toggling the edge box. But then what I want to do is be like main page reference, which I've just called main page, and my animate update class should be publicly accessible. Is it a property or just a field? I might have made a property. Nah, I think it's just a field. So animate update, and then I'm gonna look for so okay, animate update. Let me just check that again. On the right place. So I run the script. I toggle the edge box. If can player one edge box, which is here, and this is gonna be just like a flag set to true or false. Oh, actually, you know what? Toggle edge box. I may even need a check, because I can just check against the game state. Okay, cool. So instead of this check, I'm gonna have this directly change my game state like this, and then I can do the check in animated draw. Makes more sense I think right now. So here, toggle edge box, which directly. So I'm trying to kind of consider one behavior, one function call. So toggle edge box should redo one thing, and what it does, toggle edge box toggles the edge box. Enable player one edge monitor has been toggled as the game state, right? Current game state. So now, this is statically accessed, so I can access this all over the program as long as it's public. So I'm gonna go to animated draw, and as a if condition, if game state is my current game state, enable player one edge monitor, then I can draw this. which I think has the edge box, right? So transparency, R, G, and B is at full blast, or almost full blast at 250. And that's just for light attack for now. But then I want to do this for running left and right, let's say. Because light attack, I won't see the difference. So I'll take this, cut. Let's say for walking left and right, this is right here. And idle as well, why not? So one thing to bear in mind with like, I have a book somewhere on game engine development. I'm gonna pull it out now. It's right here. Eric Langell, in my opinion, is quite goated. If you see the book, I started reading it. It's best as a reference, but these are the guys who know what they're talking about, in a sense. You know what I mean? I say in a sense. I'm talking in comparison to myself because these are the professionals, right? So I learned from these guys. It's like an anthology of authors, and one thing I'm trying to do is make the principles behind my engine work quite consistent, so as to not confuse people building on top of the engine, right? Alright, anyway, so if, say for example, on light attack, I do a check for edge box detection, then for all other movesets, I want to do, for all other movements, I want to do if checks for edge box detection consistency, right? Excuse me. So I have this checking for collision with hitboxes over here on light attack. I'm going to do that for everywhere else. And this time is going to be on toggle of my game state. So I'll start with idle. I'll do it at the bottom. The order does matter in a way, sometimes, because here I'm setting my movement parameters and frame rates. So I'm going to just put this here. So if the game state is enable edge 1 monitor, player 1 edge monitor, then I'm going to draw the hitbox. As you can see, I'm drawing rectangle. According to my player 1 coordinates, I have a world coordinate system. Again, watch my previous videos if you want to catch up with all that stuff. And I'm simply just drawing this box with this color, right? And you know what? Let's put this for moving left and right as well. So for walk right, over there. For walk left, over here. Okay, so now I'm going to go back to animated update. And I need to call, right? I need to call toggle edge box, which I want to call via prompts. That's the whole idea of this particular section. So I have this input command check, but we're kind of working on the XAML layer. So if I go back to the main page, this main page pertains to my XAML code. Save the card. So obviously I want to actually have like a set list of behaviors, but for the sake of example and proof of concept at this stage, what I want to do is when I hit this button, I invoke the prompt. So let's say, let's name our prompt. Let's say edge underscore box, and I'll do like double dash arrow thingy, and I'll do enabled. So I'll kind of make this prompt somewhat human readable. Edge box enabled, and we're going to check it. Oops. Alright, save card. So I need to make sure, I need to check the text. So I'm going to go back to the XAML because I forgot the name of my control. Be a text box, the main text box. I know it says like job listing. This was for another application. That's why I haven't updated the naming convention here. Sorry guys. Alright, so where's my text boxes at? Here's one here. Script. It says script on it. Text box. So it'd be this, I think. So because this heading, this text box is script, and underneath it is the text box. where I write the script, right? So I need the text of this text box. So I'm going to copy the name and go back to, was it main page? So if I put a this qualifier, just so I know it's in this scope. If my text block.text is this prompt here, very simple stuff, then I want to toggle my game state, which I think is statically accessed. So I'll go game state, and it's actually a function call rather than direct toggling here, if that makes sense. What's the name of my function? I think is it public? Yeah. Oh, wrong place. Is it animate update? Toggle edge box, right? To call this. I'm just trying to see how I'm doing that. Okay, I see it. Okay, that's weird how I'm doing that. This is in my update loop. I only want to check this. I mean, I could check this on update looping on my update loop clock, but then I would need to have a if statement to check it, which is not a problem. Let's just keep it that way for simplicity. For performance considerations, what I'm doing right now might not be the best way, but for just like proof of concept consideration, it's okay, I suppose. Okay, so if the game state player one, is it? What's it called? Enable player one monitor, then I update. Wait, but then that's weird because I've already would have updated it. But it doesn't matter anyway. It does actually matter. Let me see if I can do this properly. Current game state. Let me see. Rather than toggling it like this is redundant. So what I'm gonna do is do step by step. So I click the button. Then what I actually want to do is not do a check here. This has to be somewhat general purpose. I can't always be checking for this in a general purpose control like a button click, if that makes sense. What I will do is I will pass this value to the scope of my check, right? So if this is the prompt, then I will need some kind of way to store the value. So I can use a variable. So I'll go to check out game states because it's prompts, right? Should be a list, but I'll make one variable. So I'll be like, and I'll make it statically accessed. Public static, let's say current prompt. Make it really easy. Current prompt, and it's a string value, right? For now, there's no particular value. Like this. So if I go back to my main page, game states, yeah, game states like this, because I'm accessing a static variable. So I'm doing, you know, it's like a class qualification call. I don't know how to say it, but you know, it's not an instantiated call. This is like the class directly being called. And what was it? It's one of the fields. I forgot the name. Key buffer, current prompt. And then I'll use this edgebox enabled prompt. Update the value. Like this. Okay, so now every time we click the button, providing that we've inputted the correct prompt, we've updated the prompt in memory, right? So now, if I go back to animate update, game state, enable player one monitor, and this will only update if the prompt has been passed. So I'm gonna say if, what was the list called? I go back, I can't remember. No, it wasn't a list, sorry, it was a variable. game states, current prompt. So I'm gonna check current prompt. And again, this is magic number stuff. I shouldn't be doing this, but again, this is just for the sake of proof of concept. Game states. Where's it gone? There should be a list of all possible prompts, right? But for now, I'm gonna kind of use magic numbering. If I could say it like that. So I'm gonna go back. So if the current prompt is edge box enabled, so it's edge underscore box dash 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 arrow enabled, then my game state has been updated to enable player one edge monitor. And then if we go to the animated draw class, then we have this persistent check, right? Let's say for the my player one being idle, this check always happens. So if the game state is enable player one edge monitor, then I draw this rectangle, which happens to be drawn on top of the player. As you can see, I'm using the player coordinates, not the player, should I say, hitbox, like the player asset box itself, but it's like another drawing on top of the box. And we're going to see if this works. Okay, let's see if this works. I think I've covered my ground. And if things don't work, then we can just debug or whatever. Make sure we done everything right. Hoping that this event works. Obviously, I'm not working with the XAML designer view, so I'm just typing it all in. It's saying that there's no reference, but that sometimes happens. Okay, I will check how long this has been. Wow. Yeah, after I check that everything's working, I'm gonna kind of wrap up this particular video. Very simple stuff, guys. Like, it always ends up like this. If I do a comprehensive stream, things tend to take really long, but I cover a lot more ground. But in essence, this is kind of rudimentary stuff in a sense, but I appreciate that it's not at the same time, because not everyone approaches .NET in the same way. Not everyone approaches C# at all. Some people develop other languages, blah 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 blah, many different reasons. But yeah, maybe I just need to code faster. Anyway, let's see if this works. So let me full screen it. So what was it? Edgebox underscore enabled, something like that. I can't remember my own prompt. So let's just move things around. Got the prompt up. That's the edgebox, as you can see. Initially, it toggles on the light attack, as you can see. I really need to fix the editor layer. It just comes up on its own, like when I click certain buttons. I have to do it properly. Alright, so this should be the script window. I've already forgotten the prompt. Edgebox arrow enable. So I'm gonna write. Oh goodness. Oh gosh, I'm messing up. Sorry guys, it's a little buggy, so I'm gonna just cheat a little bit. I really need to fix the toggle. Toggle's broken. That's it. So that's my prompts. I'm gonna hit save script, and hopefully things should work out. So I hit it. Don't say anything. Let's see. This doesn't seem to be working. Okay. Let me just go back. I just like my character being here. Make sure everything is working. Make sure I got the right button. Yeah, it's not working. Just before I go to check, I'm gonna make sure I've got the right text box. Oh gosh, we need to fix this. Alright. Actually, let me check something. Okay, so I'm not running this in debug, so I gotta make sure this is actually working. Text, edgebox, enabled. So what I'll do, I'll cross this out, run in debug mode. See if I'm actually checking. Alright. Okay. Just waiting for Parallax Engine to load. Obviously running in debug is a little slower than when I run without debug flags. That's why Parallax Engine is taking a minute to load. Alright, here we are. So I'm going to toggle. I'm going to try and write my script. It's really annoying when that happens. Right click instead. See if I can right click paste. So I'm going to hit save script. And yeah, indeed, it seems I have my debug tripping. Hopefully there's no errors there. Okay, good news, my event is working. Am I checking the right text box? Just waiting for IntelliSense. Put this on my watch list so I can just inspect this directly, I guess. Oh, it might be working now. Okay, there's my watch list. This down. If I'm in scope, I should be able to inspect the text. Yep, let's see. Job listing text box, text block rather. Oh, I'm in the wrong place. So it's a text block, it should be text box. Oh, but it is a text box, just I named it wrong. Maybe I should fix that later. So I'm gonna look for text box. Yeah, it should be text, not content. Content's all buttons. So text is indeed edge box dash dash enabled. Let's step through, see what happens. So I'm about to update my prompt. Okay, I'm gonna keep going. I'm gonna go straight to animate draw. So where's the idle bit? Draw training stage. Hopefully this is what I'm invoking. It might be that I'm not invoking the training stage at all. Should be another function. Let me see. That is draw training stage. Should be here. Double check that. So I'm gonna do in this generate hitbox. Is it generate hitbox? Where's the idle bit? Do a check here. Player 1 move states, that's a different thing, and I am indeed idle, I can see it there. So I'm gonna step out. So now if my move state is idle, which I think it is, so I went down, keep stepping through, setting the frame rate and everything else. So if the current game state, see here is true, e.drawing session. Now I'm just wondering why I still can't see anything. Not throwing, am I? Generate hitbox. Oh, is that why? I see what's going on now, guys. So in this function I have generate hitbox and I have a check here. The move state is not light attack, it's idle, because I didn't anticipate drawing my hitbox outside of just light attack being enabled. So I'm gonna do an OR operation. So if my game state is light attack, or if my game state is idle, or rather my character move state is idle, or if I'm moving left and right. So I'm gonna check for left movement. Dash, I think it's walk. And then finally for right walking movement. Like this. Now I'm gonna see if I actually draw a box. Just waiting for my code to update. Probably should just restart the program. Let's see. Yes, so because I'm in the idle state, this is evaluated to true. I think it was false before. It still says false. Maybe just the nature of the debugging session. And I'm gonna continue. First, I want to give in my breaks. Break somewhere. Draw that. There's another one somewhere. On the main page, is it? Yeah. Go to animate draw, and then I'm going to continue. See what happens. And as you can see, I'm going to try and detoggle this editor layer. Here we are. We have edge box around my character, and she's in idle state. Before it was like this, but now it's also in her idle state. Let's try and move left to right. See what happens. See? Got the box. Cool, isn't it? So this edge box being drawn. How did we enable this? So we did this at the prompt level, didn't we, in a sense? So I'm going to restart the program to kind of show you guys without the debugging session interrupting. I should have really just stopped the program and ran this without debugging. It'd be quicker. That's okay. Maybe I'll do so. Okay guys, so I'm waiting for Parallax Engine to load. It's really interesting. It's amazing how I did so much of the heavy lifting when I initially wrote Parallax Engine, such that to update a feature like the edge box, it's just literally a line or two of code, in the essence of a few lines of code. It feels great for me. It feels great having done the heavy lifting earlier, and I kind of benefit from just building on top of my framework. Like, I really like the feeling. As a developer, it's very useful. So anyway, I'm gonna, as you can see, I'm walking around. I have to fix the editor layer, it just pops up on its own. Well, not on its, the editor layer is popping up because of the buttons I'm pressing, but I need to fix it nonetheless. So here, hard to see, let's see if I can get it up. Got my attacks, really hard to see. I do appreciate she's moving around there, and her edge box comes on the light attack, right? So what am I gonna do? Let me just quickly get my prompt. Obviously this is really ad hoc right now, but when I roll out the version of RPG UWP Parallax Engine, obviously it will be a lot more smoother. So anyway, I'm gonna right click, I'm gonna paste, here's my prompt, I'm gonna enable it, and there, as you can see, boom, we have her box enabled, her my swordswoman edge box. So I'm gonna get rid of the editor layer if I can. And I'm gonna move around. As you can see, performance a little bit funny because I got like OBS. I'm running this in debugging mode, so performance not 100%, but still, There we have the edge box. Super cool in my opinion. I like this a lot. Alright guys, this is gonna be it for the video for now. You know, pushing up on an hour. Let me know what you guys want to see. I'm still doing the Telegram stuff. I'm building Telefy these days right now. And I'm also updating, as I just went through, Parallax Engine to support for Parallax Engine RPG, which is due to release. I think I'm projecting end of this month towards April, right? One of the two. Somewhere mid-April or end of March sort of thing. Yeah, and I do commissions, guys, so quick plug, if you guys need software written, check out my LinkedIn. Check me out on Fiverr if I have gigs available. Otherwise, drop me a LinkedIn DM. I do commissions. If you want to buy my software, check out C# Snippet Store, or just DM me if you want customized software and tailored to your needs, okay? Alright guys, thanks for sticking around, and this is it for the video, and I hope you all have a great day. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. I'll hang out with you guys later. Take care, bye.